Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and get rolling. We're going to go ahead and get rolling. I am Minister Mo. Well, yeah, Minister Mo, Rev Mo. That's me. I'm still Mo. No matter what other letters you put in front of it, it all boils down that I am Mo. I am the Minister of Discipleship and the Minister of the F5 Adult Group with the New Psalmist Baptist Church, where we have the wonderful pastor of Bishop Walter Scott Thomas Sr. And so I'm so glad you guys can join us. As you all know, that we have been in the book of Ruth. Ruth is a nice short book, but it's a good read. It really is. Somebody posted on Facebook, who needs scandal? This book right here is scandalous all by itself. I know, right? And so I am extra excited tonight because you guys will have an opportunity to hear from some of our F5 leaders that we have on the team. Hey, T, what's going on, man? So I'm extra excited because, normally I'm the one that's here. Of course, I'll answer questions and I'll read out quotes, but it's nice when our leadership team can chime in. Because let me tell you, we got some smart people on board, some really smart people. So real quickly, before we pull up our first person, and look, she's coming on already. She's eager, guys. Before we pull up our first person, just a quick recap. Okay, so last week, we went over chapter 1 for the book of Ruth, right? And so, hey, E, look at mighty lovely.
Can you hear me?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yep. Somebody gave you a hand clap saying, yep, we can hear you. Oh, Riri, she chimed in. Hey, Riri. I thought Riri would be getting the hair done, the nails done. She got to look beautiful for her man. Tomorrow he graduates, y'all. Woo, woo. Woo. Yes. He's graduating from leadership school. Way to go, Devin. We're so excited. All right, y'all. But look, we're going to go ahead and get started because E, she's going to do her part first. And then Kim is going to finish us up. But before we get to E, just making sure that you guys are up to where we are. Chapter 1, we were introduced to all of the ladies. We were introduced to Naomi, Ruth, and Orpah. And throughout our study, an interesting question came up. What happened to Orpah when she left? Of course, we know in the beginning, she wasn't really trying to leave. Her and Ruth, they cried, they begged, they wanted to stay with their mother-in-law. They had such devotion and love for her. But because the mother-in-law did not see a future if they stayed with her, she urged them to leave. And so Orpah kind of had second thoughts. She was like, you know what? You're probably right. Let me just go ahead and go. But Ruth, she was like, no, I'm going to stay. Now, we don't know why Ruth decided to stay. Maybe going back would have brought back some bad memories. Maybe going back would have sent her back to just being by herself. And maybe she just felt like it was nothing to go back to. We don't know. But tonight we have two dynamic ladies that's going to dig deep for us and tell us why that is so. And so E, better known as Erica, also known as Miss Diva. I mean, she just got multiple hats, y'all. We're going to have her take it away. And we're about to go deep, y'all. We're about to go in. All right, Erica, it's all you.
So, hello, everybody. As you can see, I usually do not look like this, but I am sick with possible flu. But I was not going to miss this opportunity because 5 minutes after I made the mistake of saying, I wonder what happened to her, I got this homework. So it's very interesting. As you all, I don't know if you all can see, but these are my notes.
Wow.
So I really dug deep into it, and it was a true scandal, let me tell you.
Okay.
So, just to go back, Orpah and Ruth were actually sisters, not just sister-in-laws, but they were actually sisters who were also part of a very royal kingdom back there in Moab. So it seems as though when Naomi and her husband had to, do that little divertation to Moab, he made some deals with the king. It seems as though the king seems to be very politically motivated, has nothing to do with the love of his daughters and making sure that they're taken care of, but he's all about the money and the politics. So when he met up with Naomi's husband, he was like, oh, I got 2 daughters. You want them? You do this for me? I'll give you my children. Yeah, ruthless. So, of course, the daughters marry Naomi and her husband's wonderful sons, but they don't have any children. And then, of course, they pass away. Ruth then decides that she wants to go with her mother-in-law. Orpah does as at first, but then she was like, let me go on back. Well, here's the deal. It wasn't out of character for a widower to go back to her family. Now, if you were of royalty and you knew that you had some good victuals at home, why you go in the desert and go back to a land you don't know and live in a land and a lifestyle that you have no clue about? You're going to go and live there when I got royalty and good victuals here. Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
So girlfriend decided that she wanted to go back home. Well, in this time, she goes home and, you know, if you listen to some of the rabbis who actually talk about her, they have dug her so deep into the ground, it's not funny. They made it seem like she turned her back on her mother-in-law. How dare she do something so rigid and just leave her mother-in-law? Well, chick, she told me go back. Like, come on now. I'm obeying my elders. So she goes back home. The rabbis, if you read anything into Orpah, they had her sleeping with 100 men the night she returned, including the dog.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Now, I don't know about y'all, but we all adults here. How many men do you think you could sleep with in one night? Now, there are only 24 hours in a day.
All right.
There ain't no way that a woman could sleep with 100 men and a dog.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not an option. But, you know, they're going to paint her as being everything negative because she's a Moabite woman, and they're supposed to be so filled with feminine promiscuity, and they just have special tricks. Okay. So she goes back home, and of course there is this king, this wonderful Philistine king of Gath, and he and dad decide that they're going to make some more political moves. So what does he do? Unfortunately, who's home? Orpah. What am I do? Pimp her out. What you gonna do? Marry her off. So what does he do? He marries her off to one of the giants. Oh, Suki now. Some of the giants in Moab that's now part of Philistine. So she marries this man. And lo and behold, they have 4 sons. Who are these sons? Well, Ishbanab, Sath, Lahmi, and Goliath. Wow. When I saw that, I started sweating. Goliath. Wait a minute. Now, last week, we just started talking about how little old Tink Tink David killed Goliath. We all know the story. Slingshot. He's going to go in there and kill him. So now I'm like, well, wait a minute. Hold up, Bible. What's going on here? So I dig a little deeper. I said, well, wait a minute. How's this going to work? So lo and behold, they have these babies. And Goliath and his brothers, as they grow up, they decide they're going to terrorize some stuff. Why? Because they're giants. And they can. Because who's going to fight a giant? No one, except for little Tink Tink. So little Tink Tink decides, I'm going to fight the giant. And he kills the giant. Well, when he kills the giant, he has to prove that he killed him. Well, here's where the scandal starts, child. Okay, so the person that needs to help him, his name is, clutch your pearls, Uriah. What? So Uriah goes to David and he says, hey, dude, check this out. I know how to get this armor off because I know you need to prove to the king that you killed this dude so we can live on the land and do a little bit of celebration. I will tell you how to get rid of this if you hook me up with an Israelite wife. I need somebody cute. I ain't all that handsome. I can't get it. So I need you to hook me up. So, David looked at him and was like, dude, whatever you need, I got you. So he tells him, hey, the armor is connected to his feet. Once you get that off, the whole armor goes off. Kill that, take that head off, send it to the king so we can live. David says, bet, I got you. Takes it off, snatches off the head, takes it over to the king. David is good with his deal. And who does he give him? Jesus! Bathsheba! What? So now I can't get myself. I can't get it. Because now you're telling me that David gave Uriah Bathsheba. Now, we all remember the story of David and Bathsheba. Now, wait a minute. Hold up. So you're telling me that you gave your dude the woman who you commit adultery with, all of a sudden, then you going to kill the person that gave you that man. Oh, my gosh. Can I tell you, I felt like the commercial. Poof, mind blown.
Wow.
Now, just to go back a little bit, throughout all this time, David is now part of the army. And every now and then, one of good old Orpah's sons to feel like he want to feel froggy. So he goes in, tries to terrorize something, they kill him. So at the last son decides, you know what? I'm going to just take out the whole country. I'm tired of all y'all. Well, that doesn't work. And I think Orpah knew it wasn't going to work because she went and begged for her son not to be killed. And she went to almost like the captain of the army. And she was like, this is my last baby. I know what I raised, but I ain't raised him to be like that. Even though she helped Goliath fight David. So she knew this. So he was like, nah, you know what? Not only are we going to get rid of your son, we're going to kill you too. We're going to just go. Remember last week we were talking about killing stuff at the root?
Yep.
You got to get rid of the root.
Yeah.
They got rid of the root for real. The womb. They got rid of her. Even though she was old and that womb was kind of dusty and dry. They got rid of her too.
They don't even know traces.
Nah, we getting rid of all of y'all. So my next question was, well, wait a minute. Did David know that he was killing his cousin? I was like, let me go back. Let me check this out. Come to find out, no. He probably didn't know. However, Orpah knew that David was her nephew.
Wow.
Now, I had to think about it. And I said, well, how is it that David knew nothing about his aunt? Come to find out, because Orpah had another name, and it was Haraphah. So if they were talking about Aunt Haraphah, you don't know nothing about Orpah. You only know Haraphah. So this was good. So I thought about it some more, and I was like, it's interesting. Orpah actually ended with the same life that Naomi did. She ended up losing her husband and her sons. Now, granted, they didn't die the same way,
right?
But she lost her support system, the same support system that Naomi lost, which led her back to her hometown. Now, a lot of people want to know, what happened. Why is it that Moabite is so bad and all these other kind of things? But I thought about it and I said, maybe because they weren't grounded in God. They had their own gods. So if you're not grounded, if you can see favor, but you're not willing to ground yourself in it, then how can you prosper? Now, one of the questions was that no one ever knew if Ruth and Orpah actually converted. There were some stories of they converted after they got married. There was a story that they never converted at all. But I tend to believe that Ruth converted. Okay. And here is why. Because she saw the favor in Naomi. Mm-hmm. And even though she did not know her future, she knew of Naomi's God. And so why not try and live under Naomi's God? Mm-hmm. She's found favor. She has favor. Let me go and see. I may not, it may not come out to be anything, but nothing beats a failure but a try. Mm. So that was my story. That's my scandal. That was God. Hope I did okay.
Whoa, whoa, woo! Let me tell you, girl, you put up some new stuff that we did not know. And I thank you. Fantastic job. Yes, y'all. Give her the hand claps, y'all. Come on, give it up for E. Give it up for E, y'all. And she not a teacher.
Okay, now I'm sweating again. So I'm going to get off here now and let Kim get on.
All righty. Feel better and thank you.
Thank you.
Girl. Come on and dial us in, girl. That was awesome. All right, y'all. Kim about to do the second half. E took us to our first half hour. And now Kim is about to shut it down and give us the second half of the juicy part about Ruth.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Hey, Minister Mo.
Hey.
Alrighty, so I did the same thing. I'm going to cover basically the same thing that Erica / Nikki, really Vaughn. I'm going to cover the same thing that Erica / Nikki covered, but I'm just going to go over a couple of things. Because she did a really good job. She makes my little homework look like I didn't do much. I did. This is my stuff.
Okay.
Nikki had a page. Unfortunately, I've got 2, 3.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, 4. About 4. But I'm not going to do 4 pages worth because she did a really, really good job. Yes, so first, what I want to start with is so basically the Jewish Torah is the book of the law for most Jewish people. That's the book that Moses gave the Israelites once he came down from, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Mount Sinai. Mm-hmm. And then there are also some other books that give further instruction that I will, in this instance, I'm just going to refer to as rabbinic literature. But if you want to be a little bit more technical, it looks like it's something called the Aggadah, Aggadah, as well as the Midrash. What the Aggadah does is, you want me to get technical? It's a non-legalistic exegetical translated text in rabbinic literature. So basically what it is just a collection of Jewish literary teachings. The Midrash is what goes beyond exegetical scripture. So basically what an exegesis is, it's gonna get a little deep one, y'all. I did take at least one class in college about Bible study. So what an exegesis is basically the breakdown of trying to understand the scripture. Simple as that. And Midrash is just going a step further where there are holes in the scripture where you apply it to the scripture. So where we say, well, wait a minute, why did it end that way? It's because maybe in the Hebrew Bible, there's something that we don't see in our Bible. So to get started, y'all can't see, I'm pulling up my sleeves. So I'm going to start with what Nikki started with. Orpah was also known as Haraphah, and Ruth was also known as Gilith, Gilith. These names are both in rabbinic literature, and I retrieved those from the Aggadah. It is presumed that they changed their names after they married which is equivalent to what Hadassah, aka Esther, did when she became when she went Susa, in which we studied the book of Esther. Now, if we keep going, Minister Mo told us last week there is definite you have to be careful what you name your child.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a meaning in a name. So Orpah literally means the nape of the neck, which is synonymous with her turning her back, the back of her head, the back of her neck on Naomi. Ruth's name is, in Hebrew, is Rut, R-U-T, but spelled backwards in Hebrew is T-U-R, which is ter, which means dove. A dove is a bird that is allowed to be offered on the altar, symbolizing Ruth was permitted to fully become a part of the Jewish people. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right,
we learned that Ruth and Orpah were sisters. Ruth married Mahlon. His name means invalid or man of weakness. We also know that Orpah married Chilion, Chilion. Okay? His name means pining or wasting away. Why Naomi named her children these names, have no idea. Why Elimelech, the father, named them after that, I have no idea. But I know I personally wouldn't want my child to be weak or wasting away. Okay? Elimelech, I will get into him just a little bit in just a second. We know that Orpah was also casted in a negative light, but this is also reflected in her husband, Chilion. And this is because, like I said, this goes back to Elimelech, who is Naomi's husband. For a little bit of background, Elimelech was a wealthy Judean prince. As we know, they left Bethlehem because of the famine, but he didn't only leave because of the famine. He left because he was afraid that people might apply to him for help. So basically, he left because he had the money, but was too selfish to help out his fellow Israelite Hebrew people. We also know that his name means one eager for royalty. Okay, keep that in mind as we keep continuing on. As a result of him leaving Bethlehem, hold on. I got a map here. Hopefully y'all can see this. Hold on. Bethlehem is here. Moab is here. He had to go up through the desert, around some water, to come south. So he completely left his family, everything that he'd known, took his money, took his dog, took his donkeys, everything else, and went to another country on the opposite side of the Dead Sea, where we know that the Dead Sea has nothing in it because of its acidity, because of the salt. And we know that until today. As a result of him leaving Bethlehem, he formed an alliance with the king of Moab and arranged marriages for his sons, whose wives turned out to be Orpah and Ruth. But this is the kicker. I couldn't find literature that said that the king of Moab was definitely Orpah and Ruth's grandfather. However, it said they were the granddaughters of the queen that was married to the king. So it sounds like one of two things either happened. She married this king, and these were his step-granddaughters, or they just didn't care that because these were women that they didn't have a special place in the Bible. I can't give you any evidence of that, but I'm just saying that that's what I found. Orpah and Ruth were the granddaughters of the queen married to Eglon, the Moabite king. Now, it's going to get a little juicy. Well, hold on. Before I get to the juicy part, I did write Elimelech's name, one eager for royalty, married off and arranged marriages for his two sons. Possibly, Elimelech wanted one of his sons to become king. To give him a royalty line. We don't know. Sounds like a lot of eager, backhanded stuff going on here.
Shade.
And then we all know the story of what happened. Elimelech died. Mahlon died. Chilion died. Naomi's going back to Bethlehem, going back to Israel. And now we're back to the story of where Orpah is leaving Naomi. Mm-hmm. Orpah did find a new husband as a result of the alliance of Eglon, her grandmother's husband, and the Philistine king of Gath. Now, I have another picture.
I'm loving the visual presentations, man.
I'm gonna do the same one. I have another picture, but it's probably not the best one because it's kind of small. Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna use this one. So as you can see here, Moab is here. Mm-hmm. Israel, which is considered as Judah, is all here. Philistia, which is also what we know as today the Gaza Strip. I got a little memo that I'm going to put in there too. They're in between two enemies. Let's just remember that. Israel is in between two enemies, Moab and Philistia. They've got water in the middle that they can't draw from and water that they can't escape to.
So they pretty much screwed.
They're in the middle of nowhere and no one to help them unless they find their their tribal kinsmen. And as we know, they were all scattered all over in different regions. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. It's a lot.
No, honey, we are enjoying this.
In this particular in the particular text that I read, it stated that Moab had some giants, but most moved to the coastal plain. So again, like I said, they had enemies on the left of them, enemies on the right of them, and the Philistines lived along the Mediterranean border, a recognizable place today that we know as the Gaza Strip. Also, according to rabbinic literature, it states Orpah may have become a little loose after departing from Naomi. It is believed that both Orpah and Ruth were attached to Judaism. We still don't know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, if they converted. However, we do know that they wanted to become Jewish women because of their husbands. We do know that they observed the faith of the land, meaning the Judaism, because of their husbands. And however, Orpah didn't have the strength to hold fast. Upon returning to her people and pagan gods, she ran into a battalion of 100 soldiers and a dog. That's just nasty. That's just plain old nasty. And submitted herself to them. Now, I read two different things. One said she would bear a child named Goliath. We have no idea who the daddy is if you're talking about the battalion, or if we're talking about the king of Gath. If we recall from David and Samuel, and I didn't look up the scripture, and I do apologize, Goliath even said something along the lines as, who am I, a dog? Or who am I to fight? Who do you think I am to fight, a dog? And so I'm assuming Goliath heard the stories about his mama returning back to Gath impossibly mating with this dog. What we find happening to Orpah is what we find happening to many people throughout history and even still today. She had the potential for greatness, but she turned her back. We learned that she gave birth to 4 sons, and I could not find evidence where these sons were birthed from, if they were from the union of the king of Gath or as a result of the battalion. However, their names was Ishbi-Benabab, I hope I got that right, Sath, Lami, and Goliath, the same Goliath that tantalized, tormented, drove Israel crazy. It is the same Goliath that we also know as in the book of, I believe it's 1st and 2nd Samuel, who is Ruth's descendant. We do know that David killed Goliath, and in subsequent battles, Goliath's brothers were killed by David's army. When Orpah was older and died by the hands of Abishai, a general in King David's army, after trying to shield her son Ishbi, they had some wild names, y'all. Ishbi-Benabab from death. So basically, her nephew, as Nikki said earlier, her nephew had his general to kill his aunt and his cousin. And I'm coming down to the wire. Maybe this is why Ruth never had children with a Moabite, because God knew the plans that he planned for her, and anything in the way, any other children in the way of that would have hindered the possibility in that line where we find ourselves as Jesus our Christ.
Wow. Come on, y'all. Give it up for Kim. Woo! Show her those hand claps, y'all. Thank you, Kim. Let me tell you, that was one of the best tag team teaching duos I have seen in a long time, y'all. Thank you so much. You said, yeah, buddy. All right, wait a minute. We have one more. Lori? I saw Lori made a comment and said she had something to add for Ruth. All right, so Lori, you want to dial in? You still there? All right, person calling in. Come on in, girlie. This is good, y'all. I love the tag team, man. Pass the baton and keep it moving. All right, Lori. You coming up, girlie. And this is what the F5 Bible study is all about, y'all. Uh-oh. Lori, you have your camera facing the right way? All we see is your circle. Try again. Make sure your camera is facing the right way. But this is what F5 is all about. You know, we grow together, we learn together. And, you know, even though I may pop up and say, all right, well, here's the homework. But look how enriching it is when people like really get excited and dig in. And all of us are getting something out of it. I mean, literally all of us. I don't know about you guys, but I am sitting here writing notes. Hey, Lori.
Hello.
What's going on, honey?
My phone.
How's your phone? That's all right. We got you now. All right, Lori, come on. We passing the baton to you, girlie.
Well, one of the things I missed last week, but I watched the discussion, and one of the things that you talking about last week was Orpah going and Ruth staying, and you know, tonight both of our other teachers have said that both women practiced Judaism and were practicing the religion of their husbands. And so when I thought about Ruth actually staying with Naomi and going on, it brought me to some stuff from my discipleship class.
Okay.
And
I'm getting getting a new piece of paper so I can write some more notes.
So it brought me to the last 3 of the 7 realities. That when you have a relationship with God, which I believe Ruth did because she saw Naomi's relationship, that it causes a crisis of belief that requires faith and action. And you must make major adjustments in your life to join God in what he's doing. So there's no way she could go back to Moab. She had to go back to Bethlehem with Naomi because life in Moab was not the way that Jewish people lived their lives. And through the experiences that she had when her husband was alive and the family was together, that that relationship that she had built, that she had seen, carried her through with Naomi, and the kindness that she had seen God give Naomi, even though Naomi didn't see it as kindness, Ruth could see it. And that made her stay with her and will bless both of them in the future. So that's
all right, woo woo! Let's give it up to head class for Lori, y'all. Woo! I'm loving this, y'all. You know what? We gotta have Bible study like this more often, where we just pass the baton and we just keep passing to one another. For those of you who don't know, who've never been through discipleship, we have quite a few people in discipleship. Kim coming back in. Wait a minute. This is a serious tag team going on. Look, Lori, you done sparked something up in Kim, and now Kim got another piece.
I forgot something. Really, Vaughn, I totally forgot to give you guys something earlier. So this is just 2 little nuggets that I want to give, and then I'll drop off again. So I learned another term for giants. Now, if we all familiar with the rapper Eminem, Eminem. I always thought it was, he was playing a word, playing around with words with M&Ms, like Eminem the Candy, because he's a silly rapper, at least when he first came out. But apparently Eminem is another term for giant. So y'all remember that. Then also I wanted to contemporize it a little bit. So I wanted to, in order to understand all of the Bible and how it affects us today, I looked at a map of ancient Israel, and then I looked at a map of today's Israel, and it completely makes sense why that region is still in all of the turmoil that they are in. I got another map for y'all. Okay? Hopefully you can see it, and I am just going to read most of it to you. So in today's society, in today's world, the king of Moab is known as the nation of Jordan people. Jordan, as we know, is always under attack. They are always trying to attack Israel. They don't believe that Israel should be a nation. There is also the Philistine states, which is this little strip right here. This is Israel. This little red strip is known as the Gaza Strip, y'all. This was the land of giants. No! That is why they continue to fight. They are fighting over land that they eventually took over, and the giants, quote unquote, as we know, they aren't giants anymore, fell. We also have the West Bank, and we also have Egypt. We also know that Egypt, wait a minute, where is it? Egypt is here. We know that Egypt is also another place where there is some turmoil, but they are surrounded by all of these countries that don't want them there. That's Egypt here. That would be to the west. There's Saudi Arabia to the east. There's Jordan, which is just a little bit, tad bit south of Israel on the other side of the Dead Sea. Also the kingdom of Ammon, which is also an ancient sorry, I know y'all trying to look. It was just also an ancient city is there. And then you also have the kingdom of Aram, Damascus. This country comes up a billion times, but who do we know met somebody on the Damascus road? I'm just gonna put that out there, and that is Syria. And what we know from the Bible is, and I regret that I didn't write it down, but there is a scripture in there that says Damascus will fall, and once Damascus falls, people, that means get ready. Armageddon is coming. And guess what's going on in Syria now? Why do we have so many Syrian refugees? Because Damascus is falling. So y'all, this is a warning. This is a wake-up call. Get ready. Damascus is falling and Jesus is coming. And I'm done.
No, you're not.
I'm done. I won't get back on no more, Nikki.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. No, and actually, to go back off of Kim, I'm going to even bring it to more of where we are now. And she actually brought it up. A lot of the political fights that we get into with our governments is not always about the resources, but it's also about power. And if you look at a lot of the meetings that our countries are having, it's all about who is going to actually, who are we really scared of? And when you start looking at those maps that Kim is actually showing you, you start going back further into who our allies are and who aren't our allies. You will start to see how all of this is part of, all of it goes back to our wonderful continent of Africa and God. And it's really crazy when you start hearing about oil or you start hearing about resources. Really look a little bit deeper into where they're actually fighting, such as Kim was talking about Syria. Now they're ready to send them all back. And you want to know probably why? Is because if I send you back, you can rebuild your country, even though Russia is still doing their issues with you. But we need for you to go back because we know that the promises of what God has said may be coming to fruition. So we need to kind of like cut this off at the leg, send you back, you build your country back up so we can stop God in what he's about to do to us. So it all comes into full circle. So this is very interesting.
I love it. I love it. Come on, y'all. Let's give it up for the trio. We didn't look. We thought we were just gonna have two. We gave it up for the trio, y'all. Woo! Yes, Erica, Kim, Lori, y'all. This was amazing. We were so not ready for this. We were so not ready for this. But let me tell you, that's what it's all about. And I love how we dig deep into the history of Moab, how we dig deep into the history of the generational curse. Here we have family members killing each other. Part of the family knew who they were. The other part of the family did not know because David didn't know that was his auntie and his cousins. But yet auntie knew that that was her nephew. A whole lot of family drama, a whole lot of scandalous stuff. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all think it's family drama on Empire tonight at 9. Y'all, Empire don't have nothing on this. This was fantastic. I love it. You know what? We're going to do this more often when we pass the baton and let different people chime in because it's enriching, it's encouraging, it's enlightening, and we're all walking away better. And we're all walking away with a little more than what we started with. So ladies, I thank y'all so much. I think now, ladies, we need to pass the baton to the men next week. What y'all think? Yeah, I see some hand claps going up. I think the men should start passing the baton next week. Absolutely. Come on, guys. We know y'all got it in y'all. So look, men, this is your homework. It is so befitting because next week, our very own soon-to-be leadership graduate, Devin Wood. Woo, woo, woo! Yes, yes. When y'all see him over the weekend on Sunday in church, y'all give him mad love. He has endured the process. He graduates from leadership next week. He's already our official ministry leader, but now it's official on the church documents that he is a leader. He has shown himself approved. And man, we're so proud of you and we're so happy. So, men, we got T on the line. We have Devin on the line. We have Charles on the line. Men, next week is y'all time. That's right, T. He's going to be gone. I forgot. Oh, man. Well, you know what? That's okay. Everybody, let's make sure we surround T with prayers. He leaves on Sunday, I believe, T, right? Let's surround him with some prayers. Let's surround him with some love. Make sure that God keeps him safe from dangers seen and unseen, that he will come back to his family, his beautiful, lovely fiance, so they can get married and live happily ever after. And we just pray nothing but blessings and safe travels for you, man. We love you. You're our brother. And, you know, we here for you if you ever need anything. But that means that Charles and Devin, you guys got to hold it down. The women will chime in and help you out. But next week is the men. So, men, you see how far they went. They dug deep for their homework, okay? So, men, this is your homework next week. You take a note. Next week, y'all going to have to do 2 chapters. Chapters 2 and 3. So, since it's 2 of y'all, one of y'all can go deep with chapter 2. The other one can go deep in chapter 3. And what you have to explain to us is, what is this whole thing called gleaming the harvest? I mean, you know, it sounds churchy. It sounds nice and religious. It sounds very biblical. And we read it, we hear it. But what does that really mean? What does it really mean to glean behind the harvest, the harvesters? So you guys have to take us deep, give us a clear understanding, so that it's not just something, it's not just rhetoric that we hear spoken from the pulpit or spoken from wherever, but that we really have a thorough understanding as to what it means and why it was so important for Ruth to do that very thing in that particular field. So, men, that's your assignment. We excited. Y'all pass the baton to each other and take us in. We ready for y'all. But everybody, I thank y'all so much. This was fantastic. I enjoyed myself. I even wrote my notes. Look, y'all. I wrote notes. Can you see my notes? I wrote notes, y'all. This was amazing. I love learning, especially when it's in a fun environment. Thank y'all so much. Same time next week, right here, 7 p.m. Meet us here. Tell other people so they can chime in. And the men going to pass the baton, and they're going to take us in, y'all, chapters 2 and chapters 3. Love you guys. Have a good night.